Hello everyone, welcome to the Advancement Centre and welcome to the world of magic and miracles, where once again we gather to feel our own presence and the presence of everyone around us, and to interlace our fields in such a way that it energises our being and energises everybody else's being. And in simple terms, we're turning on your engine, the universal engine that you can feel kick into action every time we mention anything about the world of magic and miracles. As we start moving further into the world that is the world of your Creator, we find that the only system that works is magic and miracles. Physical effort comes from the magic and miracles. Physical effort does not create magic or miracles. That's why children can follow their spirit and have very little effort at all in manipulating anyone, but they have total control of you every second of every day. It's through that magic that we pursue everything for the future, for our world and for other worlds. And in saying that, we can clearly see that it's time for us to present our gifts to the physical world, to other worlds, and to ourselves, so that we can realize the real expanse of who we are, each as an individual, spreading throughout the universe and beyond, and being able to look from anywhere, to feel the senses that our body works on, the senses that are never listed, all the hidden talents of how you connect with one another, and how you know exactly what everybody is about to say, where they're heading for their future, and what's about to happen in places that you can't see. This is the skill of the human. But it's not a common skill, it's individual. It belongs to each person. And it cannot be copied. Everybody's actions are individual. Every movement, even of your arm or your hand or your mouth or your face, or an inflection of your eyes, cannot be repeated, even by you. So in our venture into the world of magic and miracles, everything is new. Everything is exciting. And in the old standard, impossible. In the new standard, totally normal. To be able to do the things that you already do in everyday life, you have to be a real magician. One that can conjure up not just an image, but a reality that takes you on a trip to where you want to go and doesn't disturb anybody. I often talk about the times when you daydream, when you used to have to do some task, and at the same time you'd go to the beach, or you'd go and visit somebody, or you'd go dancing, or whatever. And it's as real, and probably more real, than the things that are happening around you. One of the skills is harnessing that daydream and making it something that's real in your life. It's actually your practice area, where you can try to fly, and you can fly, and there's no repercussions if you crash. You can work through a dance or a song or an interaction with another person in that parallel realm that belongs to you. And you can act it out and enjoy it and attempt to bring it into the physical world, or cancel it. It doesn't matter. But that's your scratch pad for life. That's where you play tricks on yourself and find out what happens. It's where you figure out how all your energy fields actually affect the gravitational field. That's why people can do things now that were never done years ago. They can run up walls and do somersaults and all sorts of strange things that really science has kept well clear of. So we're working beyond science, beyond technology, and beyond logic. And as we do that, we interact with one another through our field that never ever runs into anything. But it's like a magnet. You can feel the pull, you can feel the push, you can feel the energy field, and you can feel your engine turn on to supply energy to everyone. And it just goes on, and there's nothing you can do about it, because it is your drive and your driving force in your world. If you've got your engine turned off, you're in somebody else's world. And that has been the case for many people for many, many years. And you never know whose world that is. It could be some junior bank clerk who's put some restriction on you. And all of a sudden you're locked into that world. But in fact, if you use your magic of miracles, the magic person will turn up and solve whatever problem there is in that world, and will not affect yours at all. In going further, we can really look at the logic of everything and not even drop it. We can look at it and say, that's very interesting. We can look at it and we can laugh. We can look at it and be serious. Or we can just look past it and know that it's still there. And looking past all those things gives you a vision of the things that are right in front of you that you didn't see before. And in a recent interaction I had with Simmion, we figured out that we were looking at something that was very important for humanity, and we had never seen it before. Yet we're involved with it every day. And we work like twins. The conversation starts with one of us and finishes with the other. And it ends up on paper sometimes, or it's spoken. But then we realized that it was time to just talk about all the things that we're probably not seeing. And in the middle of it all, we saw this one thing that was so important, and it stood out in front of us, and it was the twin factor itself. That factor is available to everyone, and you can just switch it on, and you can connect with another person, with a friend, with your car, with your house, and it fulfills the other half of your being. It can be one way, two ways, or whatever way you like. But when you switch it on, you realize that you're actually talking with the twin aspect of that other person or that other thing. And it will speak to you and tell you what to do. Even your computer will tell you what to do in its own way. You'll go directly to where you're supposed to go. You'll attend to your car because it's telling you what to do. You'll attend to a person and they won't know that they've asked, because that's that twin factor that's automatic, that runs because you said, okay, I'll accept that. That is a part of me. And I do have a twin somewhere, and I'm switching it on. And I switch it on as simply as saying I'm switching it on, because that major control is that high-level language called simplicity. And once we found out we were seeing that this is a feature that belongs to humanity, we had to then look at how do you pass on something that you couldn't even see yourself. And I recently tested it and passed it on just by saying, it belongs to you. And everyone I spoke to got it. So right now we're passing that on to everyone. That twin factor, where the other half of you actually switches on. And you feel an energy that's so nourishing, feeding into all the places in your being that you have no idea about, except that it feels great. And you feel whole and capable and well, even when things don't seem to be perfect in the physical world. So it's not a solution, it's you. It's part of you. And to expand yourself in the world of magic and miracles, you need to have that twin factor engaged. Then you know there are so many things outside of the field that you used to work in that you can go wild. You have an enormous energy field. You have an enormous capability. And you can see around corners because the other half of you is standing somewhere else. And now that we've touched on that, it's easy to see that there's so much more in the future than what we ever considered possible. With this in mind, you can forget everything and enjoy the continuous flow of joy and elation that comes from all those sparkles around you that are generating you as a hologram. All those sparkles that have part of your character in them now become active. Not just a sparkle, they're the source of the rest of you. And it builds so quickly that you wonder what you're going to do next. Because the excitement in all of your being has just doubled or trebled or more, let alone the capability. So if you imagine the millions of sparkles that you can have around you, each one displaying that twin factor from another world, from another dimension, then you start to feel your own capacity. And this capacity is going to grow very, very quickly. And it'll be spread by each one of you. As you transmit, so people will receive. As you transmit, the world and everything in it will respond quickly and with ease. But once again, it has nothing to do with your brain. Two twins do things when they're apart that are identical. Because there's a connection, an infinite connection, that science has even found they can repeat by splitting different, I think it's to the level of electrons. They can split, take them to other parts of the world, and they respond in exactly the same manner. So if you twist one, the other one twists with it. This is the factor that we saw as so important to humanity itself. To know that when you're connected, you respond without thought and you are on the same channel. So a transmission from the outer reaches of the universe is not actually a transmission. It's a connection with more than infinite speed. It's immediate and it doesn't travel, it's just there. And it doesn't hurt anything or anyone and never will. You don't have to train it. You don't even have to learn about it. You just decide, wow, that was something I couldn't see, but now I can see it. I can't see anything else. You can't see an image in the trees when you first look, but someone points it out to you. You can see that image, and it doesn't matter what you do. Each time you look, you see that image because it's been revealed, and you own it. It attaches itself to you as part of your world. It's exactly the same with the twin factor. As soon as you see it, it's yours. And you do with it what you wish. But each time you look in that direction or another, or each time you feel the sparkle from another person, you'll know that all these things exist in a whole different structure to what we're teaching in this world. And that different structure doesn't need to be taught because it's already yours. You brought it with you. You brought with you the gifts that come with that. And now you're ready to accept those gifts out of your own storage place, wherever that is, and start to present them to the world. All the beauty that you emanate, that is known by our galactic partners with great respect and honor. They know your beauty and they feel it. And now you're in a position where you can interlace that beauty with other people's fields without any effort, just by knowing it's possible. Just by sending a good feeling, you can blow the minds of everyone. And your whole body will switch on to supply the power that's needed for transmissions of other people's interactions. You don't need any more power, but you really need to send a lot out. As you transmit, you receive that similar transmission from millions of other people. So the slightest desire to help, to encourage other people's worlds to grow, brings back a sensation from everyone that doesn't come from their brain. It comes from that beautiful being that's working your body as a vehicle in a language that I call the language of the stars. That language is presented to every one of you. And you know exactly how it works. And you also know that it has no words. But it can transmit the meaning of anything instantly. When we look at one another, we know what sort of character we're looking at. We know whether the person is putting on a show or whether they're transmitting what they really are. Because there's a big sign on your forehead that says, I'm a doctor, I'm a dancer, I'm skilled at this, I'm skilled at that. But it also shines up everything your being wants to transmit without interfering one bit with your field. And that transmission enhances not just the feelings, but it enhances the whole world that you're in. Your own private world is enhanced by someone just looking at you and smiling or nodding their head. I like a child sending a burst of love to you that nearly knocks you over. And you'll notice that a child doesn't take any more than a fraction of a second to send their whole being at you and almost knock you over. And then they're off playing again without even acknowledging that they've done it. This is how we're growing in the world of magic and miracles, to where it just gets faster, more exciting, more disruption, no challenge, and miracles flowing everywhere. Many times quicker than what you can express to tell your friend or somebody else. It's too fast. So the greatest response is to smile, feel that little bit of mischief that comes with everything, and celebrate. Celebrate how far you've moved, how far everything has progressed. And know at the same time, it will double in the next 24 hours. Because we've opened the big door. And those blinds that have a place in front of everybody's eyes to stop you looking in will actually disappear. And everyone will know that you're looking in. And you will know that they are looking in to your eyes as well, with a method that has nothing to do with normal vision. It's a method that exists in other worlds, worlds beyond the one that we're working in. It exists on the other side after you pass, and you go into the dimension where all that exists as normal, immediate interaction in a state where you really don't have to do anything because you're too busy following your spirit. And we're getting there. We should be a lot closer than was ever expected. And I'm sure that's the case, because we've gone so fast in the last few years that we've achieved more in the knowledge of our own being than we ever did in the thousands of years since we started to look at it. And if you want everybody to feel the perfection of what you feel, just put it out there. You don't have to put it on anybody, because our fields interact automatically by themselves. And if you're game enough to send your full essence out, you will thrill everyone. And in thrilling everyone, there will be changes that you cannot imagine. Because when people are thrilled, they themselves change their own world instantly. And the old world is gone forever. It's just like a child who's feeling a little bit off, and you hand them an ice cream. All is forgiven, the world's forgiven, and the situation that was there seconds before is gone. Because that's their power. Logic says they responded to the ice cream, but in fact, they responded to your concern for them and your concern to make their world as perfect as you possibly can. And that doesn't mean in any standard that you have written on the wall. That means in the standard that comes from you and is delivered as a gift to enhance the life of that child. So each time we interact with one another. You'll be interacting now from many levels with the twin factor engaged. And your essence open to everyone. So in opening that essence, we can increase the energy field. We can increase the wondrous things that we bring to this world. And that's why right now I'm offering you perfect life, perfect health, and an extremely magic future. Thank you, everyone.